Hello everyone, welcome back to another match preview. Today previewing Arsenal's upcoming game against Fulham. Arsenal are entering a very haunted ground. I don't remember the last time Arsenal have won at Craven Cottage. That's crazy. And the mission is simple. Go, win and get the 3 points, okay? Now for Arsenal personally, I think this game has probably come at a bad time. I feel like the international break, especially because Arsenal were on the momentum, we were the ascendancy. Were literally are right now top of the Premier League. It felt like the international break. There's some positives to it because we did have a few injuries, but at the same time, it felt like when Arsenal are at the top, it feels like the best thing is for Arsenal just to carry on playing. And these international breaks, it feels like it just stops any momentum. Because yeah, it feels like when your team is the best, all you want to do is just see your team keep playing and playing. But it's what is everyone has to go through as well. But look, Arsenal are at a period where there is a lot of favourable games for Arsenal. Okay, I think the next few games, Arsenal definitely should be looking for I think 5 wins, 5 out of 5 wins, and it's the first one we already won against West Ham. But the second one is, of course, against Fulham. Because if you remember from last season, it is these games against these mid-table teams is what cost Arsenal the league. Draws to Fulham away. And Arsenal just kept dropping points against these mid-table sides. Sides that we Arsenal 100% should be beating. But the Arsenal struggled against them. Arsenal struggled to create any clear-cut chances. The games we are looking at, and Arsenal looked way too predictable in some of these games. It felt like Arsenal could be playing for another, I don't even know, maybe another flipping 2 hours and Arsenal would not be scoring. That's what it felt like last season, and it simply just wasn't good enough. Whether you want to blame on injuries, wherever you want to blame it on, the truth is it simply wasn't good enough. And this year it needs to be changed. It needs to be changed because last year is these results against these mid-table teams is what cost us the Premier League the title. It's not the results against the big teams, because Arsenal have always done well against the big teams. It's games like this, the Evertons, the West Hams, the Fulham. These are the games that haunted us last season. And yeah, and this season we need to change it. Arsenal need to change it. Arsenal need to start winning these games. We've done well so far. Arsenal beating West Ham 2 weeks ago. What was it, 2-0? It was a good start, but it needs to carry on. Now, in terms of Fulham, look, Fulham have not been in the best of form. They've literally lost back-to-back games. Yeah, and I mean, if we look at their last 5 games, they have lost 2 and won 3. So, yeah, I mean, back-to-back loss is not the best, but of course, this is going to be a very difficult game because with these 2 losses back-to-back, you best believe that Fulham are going to come out and try to do something and make it difficult as they can for Arsenal to win the game. But this is it. This is exactly what Arsenal need to do. Arsenal need to take advantage of these teams, because right now, look, Fulham are not in the best of form, and Arsenal need to take advantage of that. Because look at Arsenal's record in the last 5 games, 4 wins in a row. So Arsenal need to take advantage and show Fulham why Arsenal are at the top of the league. It's about time where Arsenal need to start flexing the squad, the players, the muscles, you could say, on these lower mid-table teams. I'm just reminiscing our last game against Fulham. Let me see if we can show up. The fact that I remember this game, and it was so horrible to watch, especially because for a second it felt like Martinelli assisted the winner. I think maybe Saka scored at the end, but it was ruled offside. But I mean, you look at this team; it's a quite a different team actually. Look, Thomas Partey. I remember at that time we were trying to play Thomas Partey right back. It was horrible to watch. We were so lopsided. Kai Havertz was playing striker. Majority of the time, this guy just spent the playing on the right hand side. There was no striker. Thomas Partey, Martin Odegaard, it was just too predictable. I still remember this game. It was a horrible watch. I remember we scored from a Saliba corner, but apart from that, we never looked like we were scoring. We were just too predictable in this game, and that's something we need to change because we have way better players. I mean, you look at this lineup compared to this season. Look, so you got no Kivior now. You got Timber playing now right back instead of left back. You got Calafiori. You got no Jorginho, but instead you got Declan Rice there. You got Mikel Merino, which we're going to get into the lineup. You got Eze. You got Saka. You got Gyökeres. And you potentially got Martinelli there. So a different side of Arsenal this season coming against Fulham. But the main thing leading up to this game is, of course, now the lineup. Now, with how big the Arsenal team is, there is going to be a lot of debate in what Arsenal should line up with. Okay, when you have such a big team with so many good players, it's natural there's going to be a lot of discussion what the lineup should be. Now for me, this is a lineup I think Arsenal will go with. Well, it's a mix of between what I think Arsenal will go with and a mix between with what I want to see. Now, the big elephant in the room, of course, is the midfield. Now, you might be thinking, where is Zubimendi? And it's not because I don't want to play Zubimendi. It's mainly because now Zubimendi also had an open training session. I think it was yesterday, and Martin Zubimendi was not in the training. Well, he did. I think I saw a photo of him basically just standing on the side. So I'm not sure if he participated in the training, and I'm not sure if he will be playing against Fulham. So that's why for me, I made the lineup on the basis of worst case scenario, Zubimendi is not playing. And if Zubimendi doesn't play, that is a massive miss for Arsenal, because we saw Martin Zubimendi come on against Fulham and change the game, and he really does help Declan Rice when Declan Rice is playing as a, he just gives Declan Rice a bit more freedom, because I think Martin Zubimendi is a better six than Declan Rice in terms of being able to build up from the back, being able to just find passes. I think he's better at those things than than Declan Rice is. So for me, that's why Martin Zubimendi not playing is a big miss. But look, we got quality, and that's why I think Mikel Merino will probably start this game. Now, Mikel Merino has scored against Spain, and if you know what that means, that probably means he will be starting. We saw what happened last time when he scored a hat-trick. The guy was undroppable, and he just got a brace as well. So he will definitely be playing against Fulham. We know Arteta sometimes rewards players on starts based on their international form. And with Mikel Merino scoring a brace and potentially Zubimendi not playing, you can definitely bet Mikel Merino will be playing this game. I don't have anything against Merino playing personally, but I think it's just about how you use him. I don't think this is his best position. Like when we were seeing him play like a very advanced role against Liverpool, I just think you're hindering him. I think he's better when he has less, like when there's less pressure on him to build up, when it's just about him getting the ball from the defenders and the midfielders and just facilitating, just passing it to Eze and Saka and Gyökeres. That's probably where we get to see the best out of Mikel Merino. But the rest of the team really picks itself. Of course, Eze has to play now with Martin Odegaard out injured. Now, of course, it's going to be until until October. Sorry, until November potentially he's going to be out. But for me, that's not a big. I'm not too concerned, because not because he's not a good player, he's a brilliant player, but because of the fact that we got Eze, who is just as good as Martin Odegaard, and this will be a big game for Eze. He actually hasn't played much of international games. I think he's played a few minutes here and there, so he's going to be ready, fresh to play, and I'm very excited to see him play just because he offers something different and he will be our creative outlet. The other inclusion I have done is, of course, Martinelli. Now, a lot of people are saying Trossard is going to play, or Trossard should play, but I just think Martinelli should play. I think Martinelli, he's done really well this season in terms of goals, and I think one thing he does offer compared to all of our forward line is the fact that he offers that he's able to run in behind. You look at Trossard. Trossard is he needs the ball to his feet. Okay, it's all with Trossard. You play the ball is played behind him. Like, that's how he is. I think that hopefully that makes sense. But basically, he needs a ball to his feet. Whilst with Martinelli, he offers that something different. Where, because Saka is also a type of player that the ball has to come to him. He has to. He's not going to run onto a loose pass, or what I mean. Like Martinelli, you can make those those long balls. And Martinelli will always be at the end of it because he just has that pace. He has something different, and that's why for me, I think Martinelli should start the game. And personally, I think Trossard is also better off the bench. I think he's a much better player off the bench. I think when he sometimes plays when he starts the game, he doesn't have the best of games. I think he's a much better impact sub. I think you could argue both of them are much better off the bench, but I just think we need to try something different because Trossard has been playing, Martinelli's played, he's got a few goals, so I think it's fair to reward Martinelli with a start, especially because he does offer something different to Trossard. And if it doesn't work, then of course you can bring on Trossard, or also if you really want to risk it and everything, then maybe you can put on Eze on the left wing, and then you can just bring on another player which we have, and then you can switch it to something like this. This would be very exciting as well. Like if I saw this lineup, this is something I'd be really excited to see. Do I think it's gonna happen? Probably not, but this would be a very exciting lineup to see. Eze on the left wing, Wanyeri playing as a number 10. That will be a very exciting lineup. This will be a lineup to get the fans off the sea. And if you want to break down low blocks, this is the way. Just creative, so much creativity on the pitch. That's the way to break down low blocks. To be honest, I don't think we will see that. But another player that's going to be under pressure is, of course, Gyökeres. Look, now Gyökeres hasn't scored for a few games now, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's already a lot of pressure on him to score, and what a game it would be for him to score on. He needs to stop resting the defenders. I think that's the only thing. I feel like every time I see him, he's always fighting with the defenders. I think sometimes you don't need to do that. that's what the defenders are doing. Sometimes, dropping deep, lay off the ball. I know he's not that type of striker, but try something different. Lay it off and then just keep running. Just yeah, like I feel like he's become too predictable in terms of just wrestling with the defenders. You see Haaland. Haaland has evolved his game where he's able to drop in deep, link up play a bit. And now I'm not saying Jokic doesn't do that. He does link up the play, but I feel like sometimes he's just too occupied in terms of fine with the defenders. Now I do see the benefit of it. I think because he's occupying the defenders, it does mean the likes of Saka or the likes of Eze, whoever's on that left wing, um, there's one less defender on them, because you saw from last season when Kai Havertz was playing as a striker, we were seeing defenders double team up against Saka, or even sometimes triple team. But of course now with Jokeres in the centre, and him being able to occupy the defenders, it does mean one less defender now focusing on Saka. And that's why this season we have seen Saka being less double teamed against. You see, he has a lot more space, and that's why he's probably. I think this is. I mean, he scored a few goals as well this season, and probably contributes to his overall play. But look, regardless, man, let's just summarize it. We need to win. That's as simple as it can be. In terms of the lineup, this would be a very exciting lineup. But do I see it happening? Probably not. So that's why I think instead of just one year, just imagine Martinelli there. That's the lineup I think we probably will see. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.